Today I want to show you 3 exercises to work your latissimus dorsi without letting your upper trapezius do all the work, because there's something we see constantly in the clinic: patients with chronic neck pain, a constant feeling of tension in the neck, stiffness in the upper trapezius, tension headaches, and yet they still need to strengthen their back. And here's where the problem arises. Many classic back exercises are not a good idea when the upper trapezius is overactive. In fact, some exercises activate the trapezius more than the latissimus dorsi, which is exactly the opposite of what we want. The result: more neck tension, more pain, less real stimulation of the latissimus dorsi, and a frustrated patient who feels that training only makes things worse. The most common mistake is choosing exercises just because they're the usual ones, like the standing dumbbell row. On paper, it seems perfect. Unilateral, good range of motion, and easy to increase the load. But in many patients, something very common happens. The dumbbell doesn't go toward the hip, but rather toward the chest or even the shoulder. And when the path goes upward, the movement stops being about the latissimus dorsi and the upper trapezius takes over. The patient starts pulling with their neck, raises their shoulder, and reinforces exactly the pattern that causes them pain. That's why, before choosing an exercise, we should ask ourselves 4 quick questions. Does it reduce the need for cervical stabilization? Does it facilitate scapular depression? Does it prevent the shoulder from rising? Does it really allow you to feel the lat? If the answer is no, it's probably not the best exercise for that patient. Now let's look at 3 options that do work. First, the side lying row with a resistance band. The simple act of having the patient lie down completely changes the mechanics. We reduce cervical load, limit shoulder elevation, and provide a clear reference with the floor, helping the lat to take the lead and preventing the trapezius from compensating. It's an excellent option in the initial phases or for patients with persistent neck pain. Second, the supine pullover with a kettlebell. Here the floor once again plays a key role, because the support reduces lumbar and cervical compensations and forces better control of the movement. Additionally, the movement encourages shoulder extension and adduction, which are functions of the lat, generating less cervical tension and more activation, where we really want it. Third, the pullover with a resistance band, probably the most versatile, since the elastic resistance allows you to control the force vector very well, progress easily, and reduce the need for excessive cervical stabilization, making it perfect both for clinical settings and for home exercise. And here's the important idea. The problem isn't just about getting stronger, it's about strengthening with the right muscle. Because if you work your lats with exercises where the upper trapezius dominates, not only do you not improve, but you reinforce the dysfunction. The nervous system repeats the same compensatory pattern over and over again. This leads to more tension, more stiffness, and a slower recovery. So how can you really know which muscle is working? By measuring it. Surface electromyography allows you to see which muscle is actually being activated during the exercise, compare the latissimus dorsi and upper trapezius, detect compensations, and adjust technique in real time, completely changing the way exercise is prescribed, because not all patients compensate in the same way, and not all exercises work the same for everyone. If you have patients with neck pain or upper trapezius overload, start thinking less about classic exercises and more about the muscle synergy you are creating, because the goal is not just to strengthen, but to strengthen without worsening symptoms, to retrain movement, and to restore efficiency to the system. And that's where true recovery really begins. If you want to learn how to assess these synergies and create precise treatments, EMG lets you measure what the eye can't see: compensations, deficits, overloads, and altered motor patterns. And if what you're looking for is to make more objective diagnoses, fine-tune your exercises, improve patient adherence, and achieve better results in less time, talk to us, and we'll show you how to integrate EMG into your clinical practice. See you in the next post.